sit.
Welcome to the Dynasty Nerds Fantasy Football Podcast, where we discuss Dynasty strategy, rankings, and all things NFL. So get ready to geek out on fantasy football with your host, Rich Dotson.
And welcome to the Dynasty Nerds Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Rich Dotson. He's Matt O'Hara.
Hey.
He's Garrett Price.
How's it going?
And we are talking wide receivers. If you missed last week's banging episodes, that's right. Shaking, bacon, banging. Banging.
Shake and bake
And
and bang.
Banging.
Banging.
Keep your pants on,
Banging.
folks. This is
shaking and bacon and bam.
a PG-17 show.
PG
Is that a thing?
17.
Nah, it's supposed to be NC-17.
Oh,
isn't it?
okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't.
What's NC stand for?
That's what I was just trying to remember.
Not cool.
When you said
No,
not
that's
cool.
That's not true.
I cannot remember.
No
I don't-
child?
No. I don't.
No
Nudie
children?
content?
Nudie content.
Nudie content 17.
I always assumed I saw NC-17 when I was young. I was like, oop, nudie content.
Yep, there's going to be
That's
something
probably
in
what
there.
that means.
I gotta-
Maybe not officially, but
I
that's what that
gotta
means.
watch this. Shake and bake, baby. Anyways, we're talking wide receivers
No
today.
one under 17 admitted. It doesn't
So what's
really
the
say.
season?
No children under 17.
Oh,
okay.
Maybe no children under 17.
That would make sense.
Look at us, dude.
Yeah.
We didn't even.
Problem solving.
I would say we didn't have to look it up, but Matt
We
did.
definitely looked it up.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Because rated R is restricted, right?
Right?
Yeah, right.
Or raunchy.
Raunchy.
Yeah.
There are no NC-17 movies anymore. That was like an 80s thing only.
Yeah,
I feel
pretty
like.
much. Like, was kids like NC-17 or is that just R?
Uh,
Do they still rated X movies or is that just called pornography now?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if there's rated X movies, but
And PG is parental guidance, right?
Yes.
parental guidance, yeah.
Okay.
Then that makes sense. Parental guidance for 13 and under.
Yeah. And then there's general, which is G.
General, yeah.
Yeah. All right. These all make sense.
Look at us.
Logical.
Give me
Yeah.
a job at the.
Movie rating place.
Yeah, what nerds are out there doing that?
Kids, by the way, the 1995 film was NC-17.
Aha, see? Look at me.
All right.
See,
So that was
you knew it.
I know all kinds of useless information.
messed up movie, kids.
It's a pretty messed up movie.
I've never even heard of it.
You never seen it?
If you
It's
haven't
a
seen it-
90s
Never even
movie.
heard of it.
If you haven't seen it, don't watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I won't waste my
It's
time.
just a messed up movie.
It's a pretty messed up movie. At the time, it was like kind of groundbreaking, I remember.
Of course, yeah.
Filmed kind of like documentary style. Yeah, not good. There's no positive or happy endings
Okay.
about that.
Is it kind of like Deliverance, where it's like, I kind of wish I hadn't seen that.
You just won't feel good about yourself after watching it.
Okay.
Like it's
Yeah.
just one of those things where it's, whoa, you don't feel better about yourself.
All right. Well, wide receivers.
Yeah.
Did you know you're allowed to use the F word one time in a PG-13 movie?
Wow.
I did know that because of the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
That they would still rate them PG-13, but
One
like they would
time.
allow
One
like
time. That's it. It has to be like in context too. Like
Yeah.
you can't be like, oh, I'm gonna F her
yeah,
or him
yeah,
or
Yeah,
it.
it's got to be like, oh, F.
yeah,
Yeah. Or
Okay.
F it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I think words you can't say are silly, by the way. Like swear words.
Garrett does not agree.
I don't fully agree with that, but
Garrett does not agree with
Like
that.
you like okay, if I said like if I like we're
I knew the second he said it, I'm like, this is not relatable. Let's move on.
no, but if I was like angry, right? Like if we were like in a heated debate and I said screw you, buddy, or if I said F you, buddy, does it really like
I will say this. I'll agree with you in the sense that I think you could swear at somebody and it not hurt as much as someone else not swearing at you. But like you could say just as demeaning, degrading things without swearing. So I would agree with you in that sense where it's like the swear word isn't necessarily what makes me feel bad or good about the interaction.
it's a tone and how
Yes.
you use it.
Yes, I would agree with that. But I still don't want like, my 9-year-old daughter walking around dropping F-bombs.
Yeah, because that's been culturally placed upon you. That's why.
Exactly.
But she came over, ooh, I pooped my pants. She's like, oh, that's kind of cute and gross. She's like, oh, I asked myself. You're like, oh, that's kind of funny too, though, actually.
It is funny when it's like accidental. Like if my kid knows how to swear,
Oh,
then
I
I'm
shit
like
myself.
not
Like,
happy
oh.
about that.
Yeah,
That's
right.
cute.
Yeah, when it's like, they can't say the word right and they do that. Like I have a picture on my phone of my daughter flipping me off at age like 4. It's because she had a cut on her finger and she was trying to show me. I was like, oh, let me see that. And I'm like taking a picture of it just because it's cute. But like if she knew what she was doing and flipping me off at 5 years old, then I would have been like,
That's a
oh,
problem.
that's not good.
Oh, we got like 4 videos saved of our kids when they were like 2
Yeah.
swearing. And
Yeah.
it's a cute.
It's hilarious.
We love it. We still watch it to this day.
Yeah.
It's like a ceremony thing. So, anyways, yeah, wide receivers.
All this very relatable
so
to wide receivers.
If you missed those banging episodes last week,
Banging, that's where that came from.
That's
see, you got me off guard. Wow,
That was my fault.
I was ready to dive
Yeah,
right in and get
that's
these shows
on me.
over with. I was about to, dude, just like we were talking about before, in and out, baby.
I blame Garrett mostly on this one.
I would too.
Yeah,
exactly. You can't do that to me. You can't get me talking because I'll keep going. I was at a wedding this weekend. My wife's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Dude, you can't get me."
Just talking.
like
Just having a good time.
She started like this other woman. She started it, and I just
Kept going.
yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to follow the same format that we did for the quarterback episode, the running back episode. We got wide receiver today, tight ends tomorrow. We're going to talk about our consensus top 12 dynasty wide receivers. Then we're going to talk about those dark horse guys, those guys that are a little lower in rankings that we think might be able to finish top 6. And then guys that we're just avoiding for whatever reason. And we'll discuss why we have them as avoids.
Light horse guys.
What? Yeah. Is there an opposite of dark horse?
Yeah, light horse. Bright horse. No, that sounds nice.
I don't think there is one, but we could invent it. It's kind of like how I like to say whelmed, even though that's not a
That
thing.
is not a.
Oh, like
Overwhelmed,
Like-
underwhelmed.
JSN, Puka Nacua, Jamar Chase, bright horses. You see him coming from a mile away.
That's true. So it's not surprising players. Yeah.
And then
The
the guys
bright
that are
horses.
like dark horses are like unicorns.
I didn't see them.
Dark manes, dark guys.
Are most unicorns dark? Aren't they usually like white with pink
pretty
and-
bright.
unicorns are usually
Rainbows and-
lighter.
I mean, I haven't met one
shades.
personally, but I would assume. I mean, I have seen Never Ending Story. Was there a unicorn in there?
I just watched the Never Ending Story, and no, I don't think there was.
There
There's
there
a
is-
horse that sinks in the mud.
Well, that's a very sad
Yeah,
part.
that's
That is a very sad part.
But I
Something
did
perverted
see
about
the Disney
unicorns.
movie that came out during, I think it was during COVID, Enchanted. It was very funny. It was all about like magical creatures and stuff like that and how magic had disappeared. But now unicorns were like basically like raccoons, like to us, where they're like in your trash and like they're just like annoying things. I thought that was hilarious.
Beat it, you unicorn.
Yeah, basically. Basically.
Scram. Turn you like a
I was like,
rhino.
that's not what I expected, but I love it. All right, so let's get into our
Yeah,
top
wide
12.
receivers.
Top 12 wide receivers here. And our top 3, does anybody have even the exact order any different than Jamar Chase, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, Puka Nacua? Like,
Yes, I do.
do
I
you?
think I had Jaxon Smith, Jamar, and Puka.
Okay. So you have JSN first.
Yeah.
I have the same order. JSN,
Okay.
Jamar, Puka. I'm just taking,
I think it was just the years for me.
yeah, I'm just taking the 2 years.
Okay. I had Jamar ahead of JSN, but just one spot, and then Puka Nacua third.
I figured if JSN could do it. Now, listen, Jamar Chase, the lowest he's ever been is wide receiver 13, right? Even like when
I don't even think he's been wide receiver 13.
I thought he was like that. Was his
No, he's been a wide receiver 1 every single year of his career. Yeah, I think it was like wide receiver 11 one year. And it was a year he like missed a couple games, I think. But other than that, like he's been a wide receiver 1 every year of his
5,
career.
11, 11, 1, 4.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's been pretty darn consistent.
He's pretty consistent. He's pretty great.
But it's not a talking point. Like it's Jamar Chase, it's JSN, it's Puka Nacua, easy peasy.
Yeah,
We don't really need to get into it.
20 points per game, guys. Everybody wants them.
They're still fairly young.
If you have anybody else outside of them up there, then you're just trying to be
A contrarian.
cutesy pootsy.
I think so too. I really don't see a good justification of having anyone else up there. Now we mentioned before our kind of consensus also factors in ADP. So Jamar Chase did jump JSN. So Jamar's first, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, and then Puka Nacua's third. But then we get to 4, 5, and 6, and it's Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, CeeDee Lamb. It's kind of that tier of guys that are like a little bit older, but are still like crazy productive.
Except for Amon-Ra, because he's the same age as Jamar Chase, just older by a couple months.
Yeah, so that one is kind of interesting because it does feel like one feels younger than the other, but they're not. They're basically the same age.
Yeah, I find that a little interesting because like you still have like for sure like 3 years of Justin Jefferson. I don't want to say for sure because like nothing's for sure.
But you feel pretty good about
in life
it.
besides unicorns going through your trash. But like I feel really good about JJ and the talent. You know, Kyler Murray named a starter today in Minnesota.
Yep.
CeeDee Lamb at 5, they're pretty much the same age. He's a couple months older than Amon-Ra out there. And in Detroit, like I feel really good. And that's my order. Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra, St. Brown.
Well,
now,
here's the interesting thing, though. You guys actually, and so I think consensus and mine, because I have him at 7, but it looks like both of you guys actually have Malik Nabers above those guys. You guys have him at 4.
I was just pulling mine up. I accidentally had mine sorted to, I think, everybody.
Uh-huh.
So I got mine up, and it's Malik, CeeDee, and Justin Jefferson.
Ooh, I somehow, just completely forget to write down Malik Nabers here.
Yeah, okay.
I do got Malik at 4, and he look. And the big thing there is, like, I moved him down a little bit, but, like, he looks fully healthy. He's
I think I'm
old.
moving him back up. I have him down at 7. I think I'm moving him back up this year, so he might get all the way back up to 4 to me.
Yeah, he's a guy.
And this is another one, 23 years old versus CeeDee and Justin Jefferson for me that are both 27-year-old guys. I have Amon at 8, so I even have Emeka Egbuka above him.
Yes.
Okay.
And again, and that's just youth related. Obviously, Amon-Ra St. Brown is a stud as far as production. And really, out of those guys, you can't go wrong with any of them.
Yeah.
I feel like in the top 8.
Amon's actually been the most consistent other than Jamar Chase.
Right.
He's been the most consistent receiver we've had, like, ever almost. Like, he has been unreal.
It is pretty silly talk. Like, there's no, like, you can just give your order for these guys. Like, here in the top 6, I think 7. And I do think it's 7 guys that you kind of give your order to. Like, they are the top 7. I mean, anybody else who is putting anybody else above those guys are going to be outliers. Like, I could see somebody maybe being out.
Well, you said you have Emeka that snuck in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I can see somebody having, like, you have Amon-Ra St. Brown, you have Emeka higher. I personally think that's really silly for, like, again, that's what I would say. Like, it's fine if you're an outlier, but, like, you have Amon right behind him, so, like, that's your guy kind of thing. I don't think it's crazy, but, like, at the same time, I do kind of think it's crazy because I think it's a locked-in tier for me.
We just haven't had anybody else.
Consistent.
Exactly, and I think that's the thing. They're still young enough, and we just haven't had anybody else that's younger than them that's been super consistent to, like, bump them down.
And Amon-Ra is, like, almost like the new age Keenan Allen, right? Like, he's getting you to 30, 31. He's 26. He turns 27 this year. So you got a long way with him. Like, you would see somebody like maybe like a CeeDee Lamb potentially falling down a little bit, maybe younger. Again, I don't think they do because that's why I ever ranked this high. But, like,
sure,
these are all studs, cornerstone wide receivers. You feel confident about what you're going to get year in, year out. If any one of those guys finished as wide receiver 1 overall, you wouldn't be completely mind blown. You'd be like, oh, wow, Amon-Ra finished 1. It's a little surprised, but, like, I know he got there. Like, oh, J-Mo got hurt. Gibbs is banged up, and he just got peppered with targets.
Absolutely.
And saw touchdowns. And
he saw 165 targets.
Yeah, which is not unrealistic for a guy like him.
Right.
I mean, it's definitely in the realm of possibility. So I don't think there's a ton of talking points there. I think where it really gets interesting is at 8. For Matt, it would be at 9. But I think at 8 is where it really starts to get interesting because there you're kind of starting to factor in, okay, guys that are maybe 26, 27 years old that have been good but not great. And then you have young guys that have had, 2 or less years of production. And maybe they haven't been super high end, but you see the ceiling, or it's only been, they're rookies that we're excited about or whatever it is. So our consensus ends up being 8 through 12. Drake London, Tetairoa McMillan, Emeka Egbuka, Garrett Wilson, Carnell Tate.
that is, I have every one of those guys in there. That's my list. And I actually do have Drake London as my next guy up at 8.
I do too. I have that almost identical. The only difference is Emeka actually didn't make my top 12.
Okay.
And I have Ladd McConkey at 12.
I have Ladd McConkey at 13.
Okay.
And I could, again, I mean, I have, like, right on the outside looking in, I have Ladd McConkey, Marv Harrison, Brian Thomas, right? George Pickens, Chris Olave, Romo Odunze, and then, like, Zay Flowers. Any one of those guys can jump in. If Zay Flowers dominates again this year and has another wide receiver 1 finish, like, he's going to make a strong point at 25 years old. If Marv becomes any shadow of himself at all, of his tape, he's easily jumping in. If George Pickens dominates again and signs an extension, there could be interesting. Brian Thomas easily can reestablish himself. But it's also kind of like, I want to look at this as well, because you mentioned the age, Garrett. It's like an age thing. Like, we have 2 special talents coming in next year. I mentioned 1,000 times Jeremiah Smith is going to be a wide receiver 1 before he ever takes a snap in NFL, unless something crazy happens this year. But Cam Coleman's an amazing talent too, and I can't wait to see what does Mark.
So good
in there as well. So like, I know it says crazy. Like, okay, who are you going to bump out of here? But like, I could see Emeka Egbuka getting bumped out pretty easily.
It is
like for a guy like Cam Coleman if he does what I think he's going to do this year.
And it is pretty crazy. Andrew and I just did our, like, before the college football season starts, like our mock draft for the 27 class. We did 2 rounds. And I was frustrated at the end of the second round because I had the last pick. And I was like, I have like 7 to 8 guys that I want to make sure I get in here to get to talk about.
Right.
In this year's class, we can barely get to like 14 and we're like, I don't really care anymore.
Yeah.
Whereas like I'm frustrated because I was like, there's not enough. Maybe we need to go 3 rounds because there's just so many guys. And there was even a couple quarterbacks where like they could be a first-round quarterback. We didn't even get them in.
Yeah.
Like, which feels wrong, but we just don't know which guys are going to be yet. It's hard to project at this point.
It just speaks to how awesome this draft class is going to be and just builds the hype.
That's why you want
more.
seconds.
Yeah.
Yes. And we're like, okay. And that's the fun part too, is it's not just like, oh, it's all the quarterbacks. Yes, that helps a lot. But we also had like 6 running backs that got in those top 2 rounds.
Your boy Jaden Baugh, who you're like, dude, nobody's talking about it. I still remember this. You're like, dude, nobody's kind of talking about this, but there's a kid in Florida, and the way he runs, he catch pass outside. His name's Jaden Baugh. Like, I think he is a guy that's going to enter the mix. And like, I just saw a mock draft yesterday, and he was the first running back off the board.
Dude, love it. Love it. I mean, he's 6'1", 225. He reminds me of Javonte Williams. I think that's part of the reason I love him.
He catch the ball really well.
Yeah, but he had 33 catches last year. At that size, like, whew. But anyway, let's get back to this because realistically,
let's start at Drake London.
Okay,
Matt, where do you have Drake London?
Right now, I've got Drake London at 10.
Okay, so you have a little bit lower. This is a kid who
You have him at 8.
I have him at 8.
I have him at 8 as well.
He's 25 years old. He just turned 25 with top 10 draft capital. This is a kid who has really suffered because of his quarterback play. Right? You bring in a guy like Tua. Who at one point led NFL in passing yards. Not saying he's the answer, but like they had to figure it out. And what Drake London's been able to do consistently is catch balls and get a lot of yardage. Like he gets 100-yard games. Like I think he was 4th in overall in percentage of games with 100+ receiving yards.
When did he go down last year? Because
he was down a little bit. He was a top 12 guy 2 years ago. I think he was like number 6 or something like that 2 years ago. As far as points.
But he doesn't score a lot of touchdowns,
right?
Is his error because they're just not pushing the ball downfield enough. And you at 25, like he hasn't even entered his prime yet.
Right.
Like,
he just missed weeks 12 through 15. I don't know why I thought it was a season.
Okay. So for me, this is a talent that is ready to emerge, right? This is a kid that I always liked his tape. I always believed in. And at 25, like, this is where we really see players start to ramp up their game. They become like full-grown men. Like they get their muscle type. They become peak athletically, and from 25 to 28, we're going to see a really dominant like Drake London. This is a guy who can easily again jump up here, right? Like we could see Drake London, who's going to go into year 26 next year, jump Amon-Ra, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson. Like, he can get in that range of being wide receiver. Because, again, I'm putting Jeremiah Smith ahead of everybody. Because there's nobody like Jeremiah Smith.
He's pretty crazy.
So, for me, Drake London, like, if I'm looking at receivers I want, like, you're splitting hairs, right? Because, like, who do you have at 8, Matt? You have Amon-Ra.
I have Amon at 8.
And then who do you have at 9?
Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson. And same thing. Like, Garrett Wilson to me, who's only 26 years old, mind you. He's been in the league for a while. He just turned 26 last month. Is another kid that is like not kid, but like a dominant wide receiver. Like he's electric in his routes. He's got great hands,
body control.
Yeah,
ability to
body
get
control.
The ball, even with a slighter frame, is kind of phenomenal. So yeah, Garrett Wilson's crazy. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, fine. And Geno Smith had a really good camp. Again, another guy who's really suffered because of quarterback.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Like so, like
he really seems like the next like Terry McLaurin, where it's like he's been okay, but not lived up to his potential until he gets his guy, which might not be till next year.
See, I think he's significantly talent-wise
better.
I would agree with that
for sure.
I definitely agree with that. I do think he's a better talent, but that's been his career trajectory so far has been Terry McLaurin.
Career arc.
Good, but not great because he hasn't got his guy. I think once he gets that guy, he's going to do what Terry did at least a couple years ago when Jaden Daniels enter the scene where he's a top 6 type guy.
I mean, I talked about this at the Expo. Like Terry McLaurin, who just turned 26, by the time he's in like
Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson, like by the time he turns 28, he'll be in year 2 of that quarterback that the Jets went out and got with all their draft capital, right? Like whether it's Arch Manning, Dante Moore, whoever it may be, right? Like he'll be in year 2. I'm convinced at this point, I told my son this morning, that Jeremiah Smith is going to be a Raider. And I can't wait to see it with Fernando Mendoza and Brock Bowers. Like that's like when I was looking at all the top teams, like I read all these mock drafts, I'm like, no matter how bad you love Jeremiah Smith, if you need a quarterback of how strong that class is, you're taking a quarterback. So like the Dolphins aren't taking him unless Malik Willis looks good, and they won't be at 2 anyways. Like I was like, the only team that doesn't really need a quarterback there is going to be the Raiders. Are going to pick high. Like the Cardinals are going to take quarterback.
Dude, if
Browns,
Cam
the Jets.
Coleman or Jeremiah Smith go to the Raiders,
yeah, it's sexy's time.
oh my goodness.
And Fernando Mendoza, get you said about Fernando
Exactly.
Mendoza. So, but go back to Garrett Wilson. I mean, we've talked about him as being like, I've mentioned his name multiple times this summer about like a great value where like we saw his ADP drop because he's been banged up. He's bad. He's had bad quarterback. I made an argument of like, look at what he's done with bad quarterbacks. So,
I mean, there was rumors that he was going to be getting traded last year, basically, right? I mean, they were.
I think those were Fugazi, like just clickbait rumors,
Sure.
like nothing with like a solid base to it.
Yeah.
The 3 guys I'm really keeping an eye on, I guess 4 technically, because I think Malik Nabers could do it. But if there was a wide receiver one not named Jeremiah Smith next year, or, the guys that are already there, I think there's 3 to 4 guys that we could realistically see doing it, because we know that the Jeffersons and those guys are too old. They're not jumping up there. I don't care if they put up 1,800 yards this year. They're not jumping up there.
Listen, you can argue like Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb.
They're only going down.
They're only going to lose value from it. Doesn't mean they're like, I don't think they're going to lose value from a points per game standpoint, but from a dynasty ADP standpoint, they are 100%. This is the last year they'll be this high. Because again, now we have Cam Coleman and Jeremiah Smith coming in, but like you said, like the Meccas, the Tates, all these guys that are on the rise.
And that was exactly what I was going to talk about. Obviously, Malik Nabers could be that guy that jumps up there. But then it's these 3 guys that I'm really focusing on: Tetairoa McMillan, Emeka Egbuka, Carnell, Tate. Those 3 guys right now, they're all in our top 12 composite rankings. And you look at,
For the record, Carnell Tate is 13 for me.
Okay. But that's why I said composite.
Yeah, George Pickens is in my top 12. So he's my number 12 guy. You guys kind of skipped over me and just started blabbing about.
I don't think I actually gave my, because I said Ladd was in.
Yeah.
But I think those are the 3 guys that we could see, with Emeka Egbuka. We already saw the ceiling last year. It was injuries to him and Baker that really kind of derailed things. Tetairoa McMillan, he's going to have an absurd target share, and he does some good things, and he could be one of those guys that's 10, 12 touchdown type of guy with his size. It's all kind of going back to that quarterback thing, is either Bryce Young takes that next step in his maturation, which means Tetairoa McMillan's getting a better quarterback, or they're a team that could draft somebody next year.
So I have Drake London and Tet back to back with Drake London on top. And for me,
I do too.
That doesn't even feel right, because I'm more excited about Tet than I am about Drake London, and he's a year and a half younger.
I think we've seen Drake London's ceiling, and I think that's what we're hoping Tetairoa can get to. I think that's why I have Drake above him.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying. Like, you do get a couple years, which at their age, it's not a huge difference maker.
It's not that big of a deal, but it's more. I mean, it is almost a couple of years. I feel better about him, and I feel like his quarterback situation is worse. You know what I mean? Like, I feel better about Tet, and I think his quarterback situation is worse than what Drake.
I've heard Bryce has had a fine camp. Like, not great, but I've heard he's had a fine camp.
He's going to be a tricky one for them to decide, because if they go 8-9 and miss the playoffs, like what do you do there? Because they're kind of in a tough spot. They did do his 5th year, but he's going to need an extension.
Yep.
And so he's not good enough to really carry you, but he's not bad enough
he really
to
needs to win
really
a playoff game this year.
He really does.
He really does.
It's a very weird situation.
But for that, I mean, you mentioned that, like Tet McMillan, Drake London. Like, I can go either way. Like, you got a 23-year-old who went over 1,000 yards last year, who's going to be a heavy target for that offense, right? And rightfully so. Kind of gives you like that Mike Evans.
I was going to say, to me, Tet McMillan feels more like a guy that can ascend to become Mike Evans, where Drake London's a guy that we wanted to become Mike Evans, and I feel like he never did.
That's where I differ on here. Like, I can see Tet McMillan actually like staying here. I think Tet McMillan for me lives here because, one, he's 23, right? Tet McMillan to me looks like in the offense that he is and tied to the quarterback that he has is like he's going to live, and this is great, by the way, like anywhere from wide receiver 6 to like wide receiver 12, like in that range, depending on touchdowns, very consistently, kind of like a Mike Evans, right? Like a cornerstone player, a great player to have. Drake London, on the other hand, is a guy who could be like wide receiver 3. Why? Like, I'm not saying Tate can't do it. It's just that's what my feeling about Tate. Because like I can see Garrett Wilson jump in Tate. I can see Brian Thomas jump in Tate. I can see Marvin Harrison jump in Tate. Easily Jeremiah Smith. I can see Cam Coleman
Carnell
jump
Tate.
in Tate. And especially a guy like Carnell Tate, who's only 21 years old, who is way more fluid than Tate. Again, another big, and also a big receiver, has unbelievable hands. Like, he's like, I can see Carnell Tate, and I know this is, and I'm only thinking about this because of the Hall of Fame weekend, which I had a blast watching. Because, like, now, like, I remember scouting all these players, right? But, like, Drew Brees went in, all-time favorite guys. Larry Fitz, I think, is one of the best receivers we've seen.
Yeah.
Carnell Tate kind of turned into a Larry Fitzgerald, right? Can win on all 3 levels, really excels pushing downfield, and unbelievable hands. So I think Larry Fitz is some of the best hands I've ever seen in my entire life.
Of course.
Like, he never dropped anything. Like, him, DeAndre Hopkins had some of the best hands I've ever seen, but, like, if you're like, who has the best hands, like, consistently? I'd be like, oh, Larry Fitzgerald never dropped anything.
Yeah.
I think Carnell Tate can kind of turn in that player for the Tennessee Titans and just live as, like, a top 6 kind of guy.
I mean, the
as well.
volume should be there. The volume
Correct.
absolutely should.
You know what I mean? With the draft capital. So, like,
He's had some pretty good highlights that you've seen.
He's already-
camp already. Yeah. So, like,
It's pretty great.
you're right. Like, for me, Carnell Tate was a tricky one because it's like, okay, I got to give it time. I've heard Cam Ward's had a nice camp as well, the former number 1 pick, who I also thought was great value. I mentioned a couple times this summer. So, for me, like, a guy like Carnell Tate, having him here, like, he's the guy that could jump higher than him. He's 21. So, like, this time next year, if Carnell Tate has, like, a Brian Thomas year and he finishes wide receiver 6 overall, he's going to be 22 years old going into the next season.
He's going to be up at 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where do you rank
Easily.
him? Like, you easily take him over Justin Jefferson. You easily take him over CeeDee Lamb. You're probably taking him over Amon-Ra because the same thing when you say, I'll take the years. I'm going to take the 5 years, right? And then, like,
Jamar could bump down because he is 26.
and that's the thing. Like, then you start
27.
You start arguing. Like, if T doesn't get traded, and you're like, if T has a good year, like, he's 27 years old. Like, I can get a 22-year-old. Like, age is going to play a big factor next year.
And
with that
really,
rookie
I mean,
class coming in,
CeeDee and Justin Jefferson are 1 year away from being A.J. Brown. You know what I mean? The guy that is balling out. He
gets moved down.
But they're just keep bumping down.
Devontae Adams did that for a
and
while,
they're in
too.
the 13s, 14s, 15 range, and all these guys just leapfrog them. So I think, to your guys' point, I think that is kind of the natural progression of what's going to happen.
Which will be a value at some point.
Of course, and Amon-Ra
100%.
is not far behind. You know what I mean? Like all those guys, like all the guys that you're talking about, Jamar, CeeDee, Justin Jefferson, they're on slightly different timetables. I think CeeDee and Justin Jefferson are obviously ahead. They're probably up next year, and those Jamar Chase and Amon-Ra are like hanging on by a thread. But this is the kind of draft class that might cut that thread.
And
might
especially
cut the
if one of those guys we talked about balls out this year.
Right.
Tate goes crazy. Emeka Egbuka has a huge year. You're like, that's going to jack some things up too. And we'll see how consistent JSN is. I think that's going to be a big thing. Like, is the target volume going to be able to remain steady?
I
or not?
believe in JSN. That's what's my wide receiver 1. I believe his ability
The talent
to
is
separate
no
and
question.
get behind a cornerback so consistently is unbelievable. Like, he wins. Like, he's JSN isn't like, oh, like he's the number 1 guy just because he's the number 1 receiver in the team. There's a lot of help. Even they have Cooper Kupp there, right? Like, he beats the defensive backs very consistently, and then he's open. And they have a guy who facilitates, and a guy like Sam Darnold. But going back to the Carnell Tate and the Jamar Chase and the other guys kind of thing, like, this is just Dynasty Strategy 101, right? Like, nobody's saying that Jamar Chase isn't going to outscore Carnell Tate. But at the end of the year, like, what we're looking at is you're looking at points per game, right? And longevity when you play Dynasty. And we talk about you want to build a complete roster.
and potential of what you think you'll get in the future.
100%. It can
With the
go
youth.
up.
You know what I mean? Like, it's and the old people. Like, what am I going to be getting in 3 years?
And I love that Cam Ward and Carnell Tate are, like, tied to each other for, like, if Ward pans out for a very long time.
Yeah.
That means something.
does.
Like, to be able to, like, put a ball because you know where a receiver's going to be without even thinking about it, like, that goes a long way to have that continuity in the offense. So, like, for me, like, I've always played the game where, like, I'm willing to give up a little bit more talent to get more years.
Yeah.
And when that year gap starts to turn into, like, a 5-year window, right? Because, like, if I can get 5 more years and I'm giving up a couple more points per game, 5 years in Dynasty is a lifetime out there. So, like, if you had a core of Puka Nacua, you can come out of the draft like Puka Nacua in a startup, right? Puka Nacua, Carnell, Tate, and say like Marv, because you get Marv in the third, right? And then they all like that is 6 years of like you don't have to worry.
Marv,
about your
honestly, you can
room.
get in like the fourth or fifth now. He's fun.
You know what I mean? But like you can grab your quarterback or whatever. So like to me, like I will always sacrifice and gamble a little bit if I trust a player, I trust the upside, and it's given me that 4 to 5 plus year window, especially when you're talking guys like Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb in his 6 years, right? And for me in a startup, like I think about that now. Like even though like, okay, I got 3 to 4 years, these guys for sure, but like I could also go like what you said, like, oh, I go the running back right, here and go this route, or the quarterback, or Brock Bowers, for example. And I miss out on Justin Jefferson or CeeDee Lamb, but I can get Carnell, Tate.
See, and that's why I love like trading down in my dynasty startups, because next year, like if I can trade into the second round, third round, and pick up CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson, and maybe I'll miss out on those guys, but I'm only playing in like 3-year windows anyway. So for me, like I'll utilize that to like try to gain value on my current team if I can.
Yep, makes sense.
And you can't always do it. Sometimes people are like, everyone wants to move down. I'm not letting you move down, but we'll see how things play out.
Let's talk about a couple guys outside the top 12 here. Before we do, listen, we're in the home stretch here of the season upon us, which means you're in the home stretch of like ability to join like new leagues. And right now, like, and maybe you're like, hey, not now, but as soon as the year's over, I'm ready. Don't forget about our friends at myffpc.com. Mm-hmm. They have every league for you. We talk about this all the time. It's a safe place to play. No leagues ever fold. All price points match. Any league style you want to play, they have got a spot for you. But like now it's kind of crunch time because the season's upon us, and they do have a deadline because you have to be able to draft your whole league before the season starts. So go out. If you're curious at all, and you want to get ready for next year, get on there and make an account, right? myffpc.com. Use that promo code NERDS. You still get that credit that way. Like you don't have to worry about it. You get a $25 credit by putting that promo code in there. And then after this year, you're ready to jump in on some orphans or jump in on a new league. You'll be ready for you. myffpc.com. Promo code NERDS, the best place to play Dynasty Fantasy Football.
Yeah, and I've got to tell you guys about our new friends over at Hello, I'm Ugly. I even had a T-shirt that they sent. I got some for you guys. I forgot to bring them.
Is it Hello, I'm Ugly?
Hello, I'm Ugly. So it's the Ugly company, but then
the
product is Hello, I'm Ugly.
Oh, because I just see ugly really big.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It's fancy writing. They're very fancy.
Isn't it cursive?
I don't read cursive.
It is.
I just ripped the bag open. And I'm like, oh,
dude, it's delicious.
Fruits.
So honestly, this has been probably my favorite product that I have tried like this year.
Yeah,
because it's something that I can just open up, eat, and I don't have to feel bad. I don't have to feel guilty. I don't have to worry about, oh, what did they add in here? Oh, what's all the extra stuff? Oh, is there dyes? Is there, like, not that I care about that. I drink bottled glass.
But that means a lot as a 46. Like that means, and I wish I would have thought about that when I was younger. Like, what am I putting into my body?
Yeah.
Like it really does mean, like you said, like I love to snack just like anybody else out there listening. Like who doesn't like to freaking snack, right? Like football games are on, like you go grab, you're sitting there and like you're sitting processed stuff in there. You can snack on some of those ugly things.
Dude.
Dried fruit.
So good.
Oh, it's so nice. You feel better. You're like, look at me.
When you put good stuff in your body,
I just worked out my jaw, baby.
You just feel better. I mean, you know what I mean? That's what it boils down to for me anyway.
100%.
Eat better, you feel better. And you feel better, you just perform better in your day-to-day life.
And on top of that, you can feel good about this product and what they're doing as well. It's a product that's helping prevent food waste. It's good people doing it. All around, cannot recommend Hello, I'm Ugly enough. Head to your local Walmart. That's all you got to do. You don't have to go to some fancy food store or anything like that. Just head to Walmart. Look for Hello, I'm Ugly products today. All right, let's get back into these wide receivers. And just like we did last week, we're going to talk about some dark horses, some guys that might be ranked a little bit lower, but we could see maybe having a chance, a shot at finishing as a top 6 wide receiver this year. Last year, JSN was that guy for me.
Unbelievable.
It worked out beautifully.
Nailed it.
He ended up, and there were some worries about the quarterback and things like that, but sometimes talent just overrides all of that. And I think that's what we had with JSN. So who are some guys that we feel like are maybe lower down in our rankings that we could see jumping into a legitimate top 6 wide receiver for this year? Maybe not ranked that way, because like we said, sometimes they're older receivers that they're only going to go down. They're not going up in value, but at least finish as a top 6 receiver this year.
All right, so I'm going to start it off because Rich is over here doing something else.
I'm just looking at like all the names I want to mention.
And if I let him rattle something off, I'll never even
Here's
get my
my
words.
6 guys.
I'll
that
never
I think
even get
will
my
all-
words in. So not my guy really is a dark horse. And I mean, he finished last year as wide receiver 12, so I don't know how crazy this really is. But Jameson Williams is my guy. Right now, he's ranked.
He was on my list of high. He was high on my list of people.
He's ranked as wide receiver 29 in ADP and also in my ranks. But I guess when you dig in a bit, and you know, obviously, like I mentioned, he finished as wide receiver 12 last year. And what I like about him is obviously everything has gone up. You know, in the past couple of seasons, obviously he started off so slow. You know, basically a false start to his career with all of the suspensions and all the coming in with an injury and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't really until 2024 where he kind of got off the ground a bit. Had over 1,000 yards, 91 targets, 58 receptions, 1,001 yards, and 7 touchdowns. And then last year it went up 102 targets, 65 receptions, 1,117 yards, and 17 touchdowns again. And when you look at his kind of performances the last 2 seasons, he has been incredibly consistent as far as touchdowns, obviously 7 and 7, but the yards per reception, 17.2, 17.3. So I feel like with that, it's pretty easy to kind of tweak the numbers just to see what it would take, right, to get him into that realm of wide receiver 6 that we're talking. And when I dug into it, it would take him increasing his targets literally by 1 target per game. So he had 102 last year. If you bump it up to 119, so just 17 more targets, it gets him to a place where he's got, let me see where it gets him to wide. It would be wide receiver 17, wide receiver 7 last year. He would have 75 receptions, 1,300 yards, and 7 touchdowns. So it's really not that far out of the realm of possibilities for him to get 1 more target per game. And when you factor in the fact that, you know, obviously Sam Laporta coming off an injury
It's looked good so far, though.
has looked
been
good,
very positive.
but it's not crazy to think that he could just get 1 more target per game and cash in on that.
He's
you know
one of
what
the
I mean?
most electric players in the NFL that doesn't get talked about as one of the most electric players in the NFL, Jameson Williams.
That's the weird thing about him. That's why I feel like he's so far under the radar, because even the fact that he finished as wide receiver 12 last year and is wide receiver 29 in ADP, he's wide receiver 29 in my ranks, and he's a guy that I like. I think all of that makes him a dark horse here, a dark horse candidate. I think he'll be a dark horse until he kind of is here for 3 or 4 years, and everyone kind of goes, "Oh, all right, yeah, maybe he shouldn't be wide receiver 29. Maybe he is like wide receiver 15." By then, he might be aging out, which kind of sucks.
I think he falls in line with, like, if you're like, hey, who's a number 1 player that comes to mind when they touch the ball, they could take it to the house anywhere they go. The number 1 player is Jamar Chase, right? Anytime he touches the ball, he could take it to the house.
Right.
I think the number 2 guy that falls in that realm for me is Jameson Williams.
Yeah.
Like, anytime that guy touches the football, he could take it to the house no matter where they're on the field. Like, he's that fast. He's that shifty. He's electric. He's extremely high draft pick the year all those receivers went off the board.
He almost reminds me of like a Lamar Jackson of wide receivers, like as far as like body type for his, like if you shrink.
He glides the way like
He
Lamar
glides.
does.
He's got some wiggle to him, but he's skinny and scares the shit out of me. So like it's one of those things where it's like, please don't get it, please don't. Oh, all right, you made a miss, all right, good. And then he makes a big play, and he's got obviously afterburners.
Casey Concepcion reminds me a little bit of Jameson Williams a little bit. He's one of those players as well. Kind of like fits that kind of mold of a player that I was thinking about. Like he was on like Jameson on the list. Casey Concepcion's on the list because he's had a fantastic – like everybody's talking about Denzel Boston, but Casey's actually had a really –
He's had a good camp too.
He's making some dynamic catches because these quarterbacks are bad.
Well, and we know what he can do after the catch too, which that doesn't always show up in camp because it's weird. It's not full go. It's, they're just touching guys down. And so it's hard to know, like, Does he break that tackle? Does he make that guy miss? Does he not? Like,
Malik Nabers falls in that category.
Does he
of
get
guy.
knocked over and get embarrassed right
yes,
there?
Yes, you just don't know.
So yeah, like, and I didn't mention Malik. Malik's a guy who I think anytime touches the ball can take the house. But like I had to think about it because I was like, okay,
Wait, who's your guy?
well, I thought Jameson was on the list.
Okay, all right, sorry.
He hasn't officially named.
I thought he said it and I missed it.
KC Concepcion was on the list as well because his rookie, and I really
like four names.
What he can do.
It's
But I ended up going Denzel Boston.
All right,
he's been a hot name. We've been mentioning him since camp kind of started. Like he's looked really good. And the thing with him is like he's done it every single practice. And what reminds me of him, where I don't think I think KC Concepcion has a higher upside than him.
Okay.
But what I like about Denzel Boston is the way he dominates the red zone so far. One, when he came out, like he has some of the best hands in the class. Like we talked about that, right? And like we were worried about his separation at the next level, and he's doing it in practice. He's
smooth. He's not fast, but he's smooth.
And he's getting separation. He just caught a touchdown, mossed essentially Denzel Ward, one of the best cornerbacks in NFL in practice yesterday, I think it was.
A couple days before that, he had a 3 touchdown practice.
Yeah. So, what has got me here, like where everybody's talking about Denzel Ward, like, oh, he looks really nice. He looks really good. He's going to catch a lot of balls. I think KC's going to be a part of the offense. I think Harold Fann's going to be a part of the offense. What differentiates me with him, where like, I don't know if the yards will always be there for him. I think he'll live around 1,000 yards, for the most part outside of injuries, which from a yard standpoint isn't enough to be a wide receiver one these days. Touchdowns is where I see Denzel Boston winning. I could see him living, in the Browns get the quarterback in that 8 to 10 touchdown range consistently year out. And we know that's the difference between being, a low end wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. So,
and those kind of guys have spike years where all of a sudden, it's a 15 touchdown year.
Yeah. And I think he can get really better. He's only 22 years old. And like, I don't know if he has the highest ceiling, but like, he's the guy that's going to turn into, Tate McMillan, Mike Evans, potentially like a Drake London kind of.
Michael Pittman was my comp for him coming out. And when Michael Pittman's been healthy and had good quarterback play, been a very, very good receiver.
And what I've seen from camp, he gets in and out of his breaks better than Michael Pittman does. Like he's been a lot smoother than I even saw like at the college level. So it gets me a little excited.
I've seen more than I thought I was going to when I watched the college tape already. But I am reserving myself. I said this before until I see him against some live
game
competition, some game. I'm trying to like hold it down. You know what I mean? Any sort of enthusiasm in my brain until I see it against like real NFL.
The deal breaker here for maybe switch was yesterday he got promoted to the ones. He got promoted.
He did.
Head coach Tom Munkin said, "I've seen enough. He's with the ones." And the starting wide receivers are KC Concepcion, Denzel Boston, and the X. And Jerry Judy in the slot and move.
You can call him Jerry Sluty.
Yeah. So, and then when I saw the catch over Denzel Ward, that was it. Like he's been doing all camp, and you got Jordan Tyson out there who's also a fine cornerback. But like when I saw that catch over Denzel Ward, and the way I've seen him catch on the sideline consistently, but just going up and grabbing the football.
He's got those arrogant hands at the catch point.
He tacks the football. Like he doesn't let the ball come to him. He gets the football. And if you just watch his camp highlights, it's him attacking the football over the cornerback, and he's got that size.
I mean, that's what you have to have
right?
at the NFL level to win. I mean, so that's a great sign.
Exactly.
Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it in real games.
Me too. So we'll see. And like, listen, it's training camp. I'm not getting excited, but he's the one out of all the camp news, right? Like he's like Carnell Tate, obviously, but he's ranked where he's supposed to be. I do think KC Concepcion's not getting enough talk and definitely be a better fantasy receiver. But touchdowns always could be a difference maker. And I think Denzel Boston's that guy.
All right. For me, my dark horse is Odunze. Odunze last year, first 4 games of the season, he was wide receiver 3 overall. And we were starting to say, okay, this is what we saw on tape.
But what about Luther Burton?
We'll talk about
Can't play for a month, son.
Ow, now my groin.
Tickle me.
So
it's ugly. My groin. Hurts so bad.
It looks great. It just hurts.
So unfortunately, he had that stress fracture that happened in October because week 5 for him was a bye week. Yep. And then in October, he had that stress fracture. And just all season, he wasn't right. He kind of dinged up, missed a little bit of time. He'd get back in and just never looked right.
foot feels great now.
Yeah, well, that was the interesting thing is he made this comment in the offseason. And this was in July. I'm going to have to adjust to the new normal.
Right.
And that got blown up.
Yeah, TNT.
Everyone was like, well, what is the new normal? How bad is the new normal? What is it? He came back.
And it didn't help that there was a comment by what's-his-face right afterward that said, I was never the same afterwards.
Yes, 100%. Get a month or so later, he gets back out there and is like, okay, guys, you ran with that. I get it. I could have phrased that a little bit better. He was like, I'm fine. Like, there's nothing wrong. They had to adjust some things. And so, like, my foot is not the same as it was, but it doesn't affect how I play. Just how it's working in there is a little different. My play on the field is going to be the same. Like, I'm the same guy. And everything I'm seeing in practice, he looks like the same guy, moving like the same guy.
Number one receiver on the team.
I truly believe he is the number one receiver on this team. And if the beginning of the season was any indication, they want to get him the football. This is not an anti-Colston Loveland take. I think Colston Loveland's fantastic. This isn't even necessarily an anti-Luther Burden take, although he is already injured and there's already some question marks about some things. I think Rome Odunze is the most talented receiver. There's a reason he was the number one guy drafted, or first-round receiver. Like, I don't know what this guy is going to have to do to prove it to everybody else, but I want to get in now because I think top 6 is a realistic ceiling for him. I think that he could reach that mark in this offense. I think this offense is going to be one of those crazy offenses where we have 2 and 3 assets that are like top tier type assets. And we see that every once in a while. You know, we saw Kansas City a few years ago where it's Travis Kelce's the top tight end and Tyreek Hill is the top receiver. We had it last year from the Rams. Puka Nacua was super high. Kyron Williams doing his thing. But Devonta Adams was also a wide receiver 1 in this offense. There are offenses that are just that good and just that efficient. I think multiple players can eat. But I think especially Rome Odunze will.
I mean, even at tight end, look what the bad Cardinals were doing. Marvin down. Michael Wilson was a high-end wide receiver 1, and Trey McBride was a high-end tight end 1. Yep. Wait till Jeremiah Smith goes to Las Vegas. Him and Brock Bowers are going to destroy the world.
Just eat. Absolutely.
I think nowadays with the amount of passing in the NFL, it's easy to have 2 pass catchers be a top 10 or top 12 person. And even in the same category, like you were saying, both can be wide receivers and still there's still enough passing volume.
We had a run there for like 6 years where like 5 of the 6 years, 2 of the wide receiver 1s were on the same team.
Well, this year we did it. I mean, Jameson Williams was number 12 and Amon-Ra was 3. So we had one this
Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle did it the same year.
And Puka and Devonta Adams. So we had 2 guys this year.
Right.
So, yeah. So I'm going with Rome Odunze as my dark horse candidate. Now, conversely, there are some guys that we might want to avoid for one reason or another.
Get out.
Who's the guy you're avoiding, Matt?
Right now, I am avoiding Alec Pierce. So 26 years old. Obviously, a lot of hype going into the year here for Alec Pierce. Finished last year as wide receiver 28, right? But if you dig in, there's a lot of up and down to his game. I think we've all kind of known that. He was mostly a downfield, big play type of guy. Obviously the story was great this offseason, right? Michael Pittman left. They really didn't sign anyone else or bring anyone else in. It was basically Alec Pierce who got the big extension, 4 years, $114 million contract, $84 million guaranteed. Right now it's basically Tyler Warren, Josh Downs.
Who's hurt?
And him, right. And Pierce injured. Josh Downs injured. It's gonna be Tyler Warren's wheeled up.
Dude, I love Tyler Warren this year.
By the way, he's gonna just
by the way,
football
just
breakfast,
ridiculous.
dinner, and lunch.
So I mean,
in that order.
He had the ankle surgery in the end of March. This was supposed to be like a 3-month thing, which April, May, June. He should have been okay. He still hasn't practiced yet to this day. There's conflicting reports today that he got a second PRP. Then they said he didn't get a second PRP. Who knows what's right, what's wrong? This is starting to feel a little bit weird. Like,
you know what PRP?
Yeah, you know me. if it gets me back on the field, yeah. So this is starting to feel real weird to me. I'm avoiding this kind of at all turns. First of all, he was a real up and down guy. Who knows what kind of how it's going to translate him being the number one target kind of at the wide receiver position. I was already kind of skeptical. Like, I'm here for it. Great. Let's see how this goes. I wouldn't feel great if that was my team with him as my number one wide receiver. But now he's like way behind on this injury. The season's about to start. Now they're saying he's a week or two away still from getting onto the field.
Kind of used the argument like there's no way they signed the extension without knowing like where his ankle is, and now it's like, do they know where his ankle is?
It's starting to feel like what's his name from the running back from the Texans last year, where it was just like
Joe Mixon.
Mixon. Thank you. I don't know.
Which we still to this day
don't know whatever happened.
No idea what happened to Joe Mixon.
Exactly.
Like how? Like in today's day and age, how has nobody told us about having the Joe Mixon?
Does someone just have like blackmail on him and like you better never play again? Okay.
Yeah, you hurt your foot.
You hurt your foot. Who knows? But hopefully it's not that bad. Obviously, he's a younger player than a Joe Mixon is. But
it can't. There's no way they signed an extension with it being that bad. They have to like.
You would think, but organizations make terrible decisions all the time.
Feel real.
I know. I'm a
weird.
Browns fan.
So I'm avoiding him like the plague.
Okay.
I don't know. You guys, are you guys?
I've never been that high on Alec Pierce.
I don't mind him as ADP.
I was say you've been an Alec Pierce guy.
Yeah, I don't mind. Like for his ADP, I think he's good, high upside value with that guaranteed contract and an offense. Like
I always just struggle a guy going from being a team's number 2 to being a team's number 1. That rarely works out. It's different coverage that they're getting. There's different type of routes that they're running.
Antonio Brown.
There are outliers, but on the same team, Juju Smith-Schuster tried to become the number 1. And
but we always
wasn't able to do it. You know, there you can be a productive wide receiver too, especially more of that big play Z down the field type of guy. Your traditional X isn't doing that. Now, maybe they're just going to give him more targets as the Z. I was talking about on another show. Just because you run at the X does not necessarily mean you're the leading target getter. It's just the type of role in the offense you're playing. Like the Buccaneers this year, Ted Hurst might be at the X. That doesn't mean he's getting more targets than Emeka Egbuka, who's going to be playing the Z.
Or dude,
who is going to be the X though for this team?
That's what I don't know. It almost feels like he has to because they paid him the money. That's the traditional robo.
That's what it doesn't make any like the Michael Pittman move makes no sense to me, unless they just like it was a conflict. Like maybe those two dudes didn't get along.
I don't know.
They like had to ship him off to keep Alec Pierce.
I think honestly, it could be Nick Westbrook-Akini. It really could. I don't know. It is a weird situation.
It is. It's weird and. Like I said,
I want to see him get
Tyler Warren is going to.
I'm all in on Tyler.
Gobble up
all the chips,
some targets,
all the chips.
Holy cow, man!
All right, Richie, you got
Rasheed Rice. No, I'm just kidding.
Is that your guy?
No.
That's silly talk. Everybody can say that,
but he should be.
I'm going actually Nico Collins.
Okay,
it's just one of those guys like. A wide receiver 1, essentially, when he plays. Like,
Yep.
he puts up the numbers. Like, he's a talented wide receiver. But, like...
It was my Jaden Higgins take that did it the other day, wasn't it?
And, dude, since you made that take, like, there's a lot of reports coming out. He's had a really strong camp.
I know.
And for me, it just comes down to, like, this is a nice player. So the category is, like, we're just avoiding at the value. It's like, we just mentioned all these young players, right?
Oh, Nico's gone next year.
And Nico's 27 years old. He'll be 28 next year.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't have, to me, the skill set to be like he'd still dominate at like 31 years old. So you got like him for like 2 more years, but I think at the most like that. And like with all this upside and young talent that we're talking about, and the emergence of 27 class, like he's the guy that easily slides down for me. Like
where's he at now in the ADP?
I don't know where his ADP. I have him way lower because I have him as my wide receiver 23 because I am down on.
Oh
like,
wow, you are down on.
Yeah, like I like the upside of a guy like Jalen Waddle, right? But like I have like. I'd rather game on the rookies Mekhi Lemon ahead of him. I have Chris Olave ahead of him. I have Jordan Tyson ahead of him.
12?
Zay Flowers, George Pickens, Brian Thomas, Marv, Ladd, Emeka, Carnell. Like I know it sounds crazy to say I have Nico at 23, right? And this is where I got to this point. But like
that does seem a little much for
so
me.
if I have him at 23, I have Jalen Waddle ahead of him, which I'll listen to the argument against him, but they're the same age, right? And then ahead of it, then I have Jordan Tyson, Zay Flowers, Mekhi Lemon, Odunze, Chris Olave, George Pickens, Brian Thomas, Marv Harrison Jr., Ladd McConkey, Emeka Egbuka, then we get our top 12.
He's in ADP in our Superflex tight end premium rank set. He's 12.
He's 12.
So
I'm almost full.
You are like almost a full round, and I
take that and double it.
Take that stuff and double it. before you started saying that you were going to have him at 23, he was a guy that I was saying was going to tumble. In my brain, I was like, he's going to be tumbling into the 20s somewhere. Like, that's for sure where he's going next year. So you might just be 1 year ahead here.
I am one. I'm a guru.
So, but that one I think is an easy one for me to see happening.
Like, I think him and Christian Watson are like the same guy, essentially. If Christian Watson stays healthy, no, from like a fantasy points output kind of is what I think. I think Christian Watson can have a really good year this year if he stays fully healthy. But like,
they're very different to me. One's super consistent when on the field.
And I'm talking about from this year. Yeah, again, I'm not talking about Nico's way better. I'm just saying this year, if Christian Watson stays healthy, I think they could score similarly, right?
Okay.
But you mentioned like.
I think that's a big if for both of them. But.
Like A.J. Brown's behind him. Like I'd almost rather gamble on A.J. Brown, like who's older. Jameson Williams, your guy. Like I like Jameson Williams. I'd want over in Dynasty. Again, from a Dynasty standpoint, this is all viewed. Like Nico's talented. I don't think he's have a bad year by any mean. But like in Dynasty, like I'd almost lean Jameson Williams. Luther Burden's, like interested in that range.
For the record, I have Nico at 20, so I don't have him that much higher than you. Where do you have Nico?
So. The update, like there is an update, and he's at wide receiver 15 consensus. So he is a little bit lower. Let me look and see where.
So the ADP is 12. I have him at 20. Rich has him at 23. You must have him above us.
I definitely have him above you guys.
You're probably closer.
I have Nico
13.
at 15.
Oh, 15. Okay.
I have him at 15. So I think I am higher. I think for me, yes, I know injuries have been a thing, but points per game wise,
good.
He's been a monster. He was a wide receiver 1 last year.
Yeah. When he plays, when he's in there, he is very good.
I mean,
I agree.
He has 2 or 3 wide receiver 1 seasons. So for me, I struggle with that one because I think we always want to move guys up on like the what if.
Close your eyes though. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. And picture what your rankings are going to look like in 2 years.
No, I would say that next year when he's 28. Don't even go 2 years. Go next year.
I hear you, and I don't disagree.
More theater of the mind.
Okay.
Close your eyes.
Close your eyes again.
Nico Collins is now 28.4 years old. Last year, Nico Collins played 8 games and had a major hamstring injury where it partially tore off the bone. Where are you at now with Nico?
That was a mean picture to paint.
Where are you at now?
It was very graphic. I saw the bone and everything.
Like Thanksgiving.
It was 15. He drops to where in your ranks now?
Yeah, I mean, if he's coming off a super significant injury, he drops to.
That's easy. If he has a hamstring tear of the bone, I'm taking him. He's
he's dropping to like 30.
People get surgeries and that thing's fine.
But
it's just like another thing.
I think for me, it's. I don't disagree that I do think that's where his value is going to go. It's trending down. He's going to be in the early to mid 20s next year. But I think for me, it's a lot like CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like, I am going to probably be buying that value. Maybe I'm waiting till next year to do it, but I am probably buying that value because I still think he's going to have another 2 years that he's going to be fantasy relevant. And I want to scoop up that value and less on the projection of the rookies, more on the getting what I already know.
I openly admit I'm a little bit lower, and it's because I'd rather gamble on some of the guys I have ahead of them, right? Like, I'd rather gamble on Jordan Tyson. I'd rather gamble on Mekhi Lemon. I'd rather take Zay Flowers.
Sure.
Rome Odunze, you mentioned. I'd rather easily take Rome Odunze, Chris Olave, George Pickens, Brian Thomas, and Marvin Latt. Like, to me, like, those guys are like just I know Nico's outperformed all those guys, except for Brian Thomas like a couple of years ago. But like, I'd rather take the kind of what we talked about earlier. I'd rather gamble on the youth and I believe these players can get where I want them to be and be like a Nico. Which, because even like when Nico is a wide receiver 1, I look at him as a low end wide receiver 1. You know what I mean? Like, it's easy to say, oh, he's a wide receiver 1. Like, but when you look at the total overall scored points, like him and like wide receiver, I bet like 15, 16. Like, there's not a drastic difference on the points per game basis there.
Here, I could tell you right now.
He is hurt a lot, so I bet his points per game basis is probably pretty good.
He's probably really good.
He was actually very healthy last year. I shouldn't say very healthy. He missed 2 games.
I was going to say he
missed
2 games, which is great. 2 games is nothing.
Yeah, he averaged 15.1 points per game.
Yeah, see, that's not great. Last year. That's the thing. That's my whole point. That's not great. That's like, so sometimes people are like, oh, he's a wide receiver 1. Like, that's fine. What's his points per game? I think all these guys, like, what's Chris Olave's points per game last year?
Olave's points per game last year, 16.8.
Better.
Definitely better.
Just signed a big extension.
Better.
It was
just
better.
signed a big extension as well. Like, what was Marv's points per game?
Oh, geez.
Yeah,
Do you want me to scroll that low?
Yeah, get ugly with it. Be
Marv.
like that delicious fruit. Beautiful on the
F,
inside.
Marv.
Ugly on the outside.
10.7.
That's way worse. Come on, Marv with the shit kebabs.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. 10.7. I don't think he missed any games, but
No, he missed games.
he did. Oh, that's right. He
Remember?
did miss a
I just
couple.
mentioned that,
Missed 5
that
games.
Michael Wilson,
That's
Trey
right.
McBride era. Remember?
That's right.
He missed games, and Michael Wilson all of a sudden was like
He was
Jamar
although
Chase.
Michael Wilson was the one that didn't miss any games, and that was part of the reason that he ended up being so good because he only averaged 13 points a game.
Who?
Michael Wilson. But he was wide receiver 10 on the year.
But still, 13, only 2 points per game less than Nico. And look at the drastic price difference. Dynasty
Or
price.
diaper difference. I mean,
I think there's also a major projection on the target difference.
Major projection.
Major difference.
Yeah.
All right.
Gee, who's your guy? Come on.
Last one here, and this
Just long.
Come on, man. Get through this. This is supposed to be a fast show.
This was my fault. Guys, full of crap.
We're deciphering the movie ratings for 5 minutes.
For me, it's another one that I think there could be argument. Originally, I was going to do George Pickens, but I've talked about him a couple times that he's a guy that I'm avoiding, so I didn't want to beat a dead horse there. So I actually ended up going with Devonta Smith as the guy that I am kind of avoiding right now.
That's rated PG-13 right there. That take. Calm down, kids.
So right now, redraft-wise, he's wide receiver 13. So people are projecting a pretty solid season for him. Dynasty-wise, he's wide receiver 16.
I have him as wide receiver 30.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're way down on him. So you definitely agree.
And I like him.
No, you don't.
Quit
No,
lying.
you do not.
Quit lying, man.
When the consensus is 16 and you have him at 30, you do not like him.
You know what?
I'm at 28.
You don't like him either.
Holler.
I have Rasheed Rice at 24, and like I feel like I should flip them, like move Rasheed down.
Well, you guys.
But dude, Devonta Smith is he'll turn 28 in 3 months.
So that
5
was
months.
that was
Sorry.
part of my thing. He's already not a young receiver anymore. Like he is not a guy that is like, oh yeah, let's. He's got all this time to develop. He doesn't have any time to develop.
He's only a year young. He's a year and a half younger than AJ Brown. Like that's what's crazy. Like they could almost be siblings.
They could almost be siblings.
They could be siblings.
Like I said,
So I actually, funny thing is, I have him at 25, so I guess I'm the high guy, even though I'm avoiding him.
yeah, wow, you're low on him. Wide receiver 3.
But
He's like, oh wow, you're so low. A couple spots.
I'm at 25.
I'm 30.
I thought I was going to be the low guy.
You're like, wow, that's low.
But the difference
I got
is
him at
you
29.
you said you liked him. I'm not saying I like him.
Oh.
That's the difference.
Well, okay, hold on.
You're lower than me, and you said you like him.
I like the player a lot. I think he's a very talented receiver. I get really worried. Again, touchdowns are the biggest thing with him where I think he gets split
Let me make my point real
You're
quick
right. Okay,
first.
you're right.
All right, so
what, Rich? What were you saying?
You know him and AJ Brown could be brothers.
They could have been brothers. I mean, you never know.
the reason that I have him as my avoid is, especially at wide receiver 16, I think it's just way too expensive. I think you're paying for the best possible outcome. He's a low end wide receiver 1, like at 12 maybe to like 18. I think that's like the best possible outcome for him.
I think I would have done better with this if I actually looked at ADP. I was just looking at my own rankings,
Sure,
and looking at players. I was like, I'm coming out with that guy.
Yeah, and
then,
so
then it'd been really easy to pick Nico Collins at 15. But anyways,
yeah, and so I think for me, realistically, I just don't see a scenario there where he finishes, where I feel good about him finishing as a top 12-ish receiver. I don't see that. He's not young anymore, so he's already moving down like AJ Brown and guys like that, dynasty-wise. And I just talked about it a little bit earlier. I have a hard time projecting guys that have been a wide receiver 2 their entire career, and then now they're the team's wide receiver 1, and things are just going to magically be different. I don't think they are. The biggest issue with Devonta Smith his entire career has always been the physicality. He is an excellent route runner, one of the best in the game. He is great at the catch point, but he doesn't have the physicality of the Justin Jeffersons, the JSNs, the Puka Nacuas, the Jamar Chases, the like Amon-Ra's. Like he doesn't have that physical nature that I am the alpha, give me the ball. He doesn't have that. And I don't think that magically appears just because AJ Brown is not there. I think if anything, Mekhi and him might be closer than we think. And on top of that, he already has hamstring injury that he's already dealing with right now this offseason. So I just don't see that paying off this year or long term.
you don't see a scenario in a C of dynasty receivers, of him seizing the moment. You see him more between the letters B and D as a receiver.
Yep.
As a C receiver.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep. Crushed it. I couldn't have said it better myself.
I mean, I feel like maybe Rich and I could be siblings, but Garrett and I think that's too big of a
You
gap.
could be
Right?
his daddy.
That's too big of a gap, right?
I think there's only a 10-year gap. I hope he's not
Let's
my
play
dad.
this game again, Garrett. Close your eyes.
Imagine me and your mother.
Oh, no.
Oh gosh, no.
Oh, no. This just went sideways.
She just turned this thing into NC-17. We gotta go.
Well, let's see what we got to say about the tight ends, huh? That's a good topic. We'll be back tomorrow with more Dynasty talk. This time, tight ends to wrap up our where are they now?
Adios.